Every year, Arizona high school students engage in the much beloved pastimes of football and soccer. Unfortunately, with such high contact, there is always a risk of injury and concussion. It has been estimated that 50% of all high school football players will sustain a concussion injury, with as many as 35% having more than one over the course of a high school career.
Concussion is an injury to the brain. It is a mild traumatic brain injury. And we take all mild traumatic brain injuries very seriously. The symptoms and signs of a concussion include headaches, dizziness, disorientation. You can also have mood changes such as irritability, frustration, anxiety, and last, cognitive or thinking changes that can affect school.
Some feel that kids are at greater risk because they're not prepared. We spoke to Coach Gary Gallant, a proponent of strength conditioning.
When it comes to strength and conditioning, and it comes to us preparing kids, we need to prepare them to get on the football field or get on the field. Most kids aren't being prepared though, and so what I've seen is structural inawareness or posturally ineffective movement patterns that have been lost since the time when they first learned to walk.
Many believe that the lax posture, caused by how many kids spend their time these days, is having a negative impact.
The three different types of categories that I put people in are knee benders, good old bottom rounders, and then, or we call bottom tuckers, and then back rounders. And then from that becomes this unique system of dysfunction. And it's hard to get kids to open back up again. And so if kids have issues with balance, as soon as you get that head outside the center of mass, they're gonna have balance issues. So we spend a lot of our time just trying to get kids to be upright. And one of the things is that with all the research that's gone on, just by doing that in and of itself, brings kids back to center so they have more body awareness and a more mental awareness.
A growing number of concussion experts, strength and conditioning trainers, and physical therapists believe that one important way to reduce the risk of sports-related concussion is by strengthening the neck. Recent research suggests that stronger neck muscles and core will help cushion against and lessen the forces that cause concussion. But this is not a new idea.
I remember the day when you used to do four-way bridging, when you used to do manual neck, and that was back when I was a kid, and that took place all the way through high school. And then I was luckily introduced to somebody in my life that was a mentor to me, and his name was Pat Casey. He's the world's strongest man back in the 1960s. He took me to another level with neck training.
In the 90s, there was a de-emphasis on neck training, but with growing concussion awareness, parents, coaches, and medical communities have been looking for anything that can help kids reduce concussion. Coach Gary never left the idea.
I think that most programs kind of bump around the neck. They do upper trap work or shrugs or maybe upright rows or those type movements, but it really isn't talked about until recently. And now recently, everybody's kind of getting back on board. Now, for the last 3 years, we've been doing this every single day.
But some parents are unsure about strength training for their kids.
There's research to support neck strengthening to reduce the chance of a concussion.
With endorsements from its medical advisory, the AIA has continued its leadership in preventing and reducing the risk of concussion, now with a sample workout that can be used by any school or even at home.